Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel on a very, very gloomy Sunday, first day of November. I thought I would cheer us up by having a look at my seasonal purchases from Tom Ford, the first Frost collection, or is it called Winter Soleil? I'm never quite sure what the collection's actually called, but I'm kind of looking at that gold packet which says Tom Ford Soleil. Anyway, I had a little teaser on my Instagram about what was it I'd bought, and I think most of you would be able to guess because I've been saying it was the one thing that I was really set upon from the seasonal holiday collections this year, and it's this beautiful palette. I've had to put some artificial light on today, but I think that shows off the beautiful shimmery colours, a champagne cream, a beautiful, beautiful rosy pink, and two browns, kind of both a bit mid-tone, one a bit more goldy and warm than the other one. So I was very excited when I saw people showing and demonstrating this palette when it came out in America, and definitely knew I wanted it. It's a wet and dry formula. So there you can see the electric light is really showing the gold sparkles in that pink. So, but you can see how in different lights it looks slightly different. Then let's have a look at the champagne. Did I say this is the wet and dry formula? I tend to use them dry, very rarely use them wet, but I know the wet intensifies if you like an even more intense look. Let's go with the dark brown, which doesn't look too dark when you see it picking up again the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sheen. And then finally, I don't know what's wrong with my fingernail there. So that's looking a bit more kind of bronzy gold on the swatch than it does in the palette. I should say I've only worn this pinky shade on the lid in a corner, and I did use one of the browns. I can't remember. I think it was that one, just to put a little tiny bit of definition in the crease. Really like using this palette. I'm going away this week and I'll take it with me to experiment a little bit more. Now, a lot of those people who have shown it, who are Tom Ford collectors, have commented on the similarity to one of the last year's releases in this collection, the Soleil d'Hiver. There were 3 palettes this time last year, and here it is. Now, I think you can see in the electricity, there's a real difference. Well, I think in all the shades, perhaps the least in that brown, but you can definitely see this is a much peacher. This is a much warmer, creamy champagne. It's a warmer toned palette overall. Let's just lay down that. It feels a lot softer. Looks very similar, that one, to that one on the finger. And there you see them together. A very slight difference, more to do with the tone than anything. This one, which is a lovely shade, you can see quite a bit lighter and more golden. Let's have a look at the cream. That's not wearing quite as well. And you can see that doesn't have nearly as much payoff. It's much more of a kind of glittery topper. And that was my most disappointing shade in this palette. Let me say from the outset, I bought all 3. I was dead sold on the one that has the green colour in it, if you remember. which I have used and I like. I also bought this one in the first kind of tranche that I bought, largely because it was so popular with people who were reviewing it. And I was a tiny bit disappointed. I mean, it's a beautiful palette, and I just haven't used it a lot. And then I went back for the other one, which I hadn't thought I'd use as much because it had a much darker kind of navy grey in it, which is not usually my colour scheme. And I've used that one probably the most and really like it, really like the formulation. So here's the final one. I haven't left much room there, have I? Let's show it dead next to. So you can see a much peachier shade, really, really pretty shade. And in certain lights, they look similar. But this year's one has a much pinker cast to it. And that's really what I liked about this palette. So if you're a Tom Ford enthusiast and you're in the UK, because it's only just been released over here, you may want to get your hands on this year's one, First Frost. I think it's a beautiful palette. I think any of those individual colours, so certainly the three kind of pigmented colours, you're going to be able to use a lot, you know, and this is a useful colour as well. So nice palette. I'm really pleased with it. I've bought so many lipsticks recently. I didn't really intend to get the Tom Ford Soleil. The Tom Ford lipsticks I do like. I think they're terribly flattering, but they are really expensive. This one was £40, which is absolutely outrageous. But when it came, and it came before the palette, packaging just beautiful, although it does show the fingers. When I took it out, I just literally gasped the first time I saw it. How pretty is that? And I mean, this is in artificial LED light, and I think that's how I first saw it. It's just stunning. I have photographed it to death now. I've hardly used it because I just don't want to spoil those gorgeous sparkles, but I'm going to have to. So you can see with so many sparkles, and that kind of rubs them off the outside, but they are right the way through. It's just that they, you know, they really pick up on the surface. You can see it's got a really gold cast. So it does show gold on the lips, but more kind of just shininess than pure gold. I just think it's so pretty, so well done. Not at all gritty, by the way. These are not little bits of glitter that are going to irritate your lips and stick out. I thought by way of comparison, because they're also quite expensive lipsticks, I had this Pat McGrath one, I think this time last year. It was this Star Wars special. Not that I'm a Star Wars fan, and I was quite taken that it would be a nice wearable glitter. Now you can see far less glamorous in the tube than Tom Ford. And I do like this one. I've worn it a bit, not a lot. Sometimes as a topper, sometimes as just a pretty gloss. You can see there it gives off a slightly pinky cast. That doesn't show at all on my lips, and it won't on most people's because of our natural lip colour. But it's not nearly as shiny and as pure holiday glam as the Tom Ford. So outrageous price for a lipstick. You absolutely don't need it, but if you want a really wow moment, I mean, you can't get better than that, can you? So I'm quite pleased with my Tom Ford purchases. Would you believe it? There's another palette coming out. It's on the Tom Ford website, but you can't buy it because they haven't put a price on it yet. It looks as if it's got, I can't remember what it's called, and it's in the Extreme collection, which I haven't rated as much so far, but it's had some positive reviews on YouTube. It looks as if it's a kind of mishmash between Nude Dip, the top two colours, and Honeymoon, which is a very popular palette, not so much with me. Nude Dip I love. And so it looks almost repeats of aspects of those two palettes. So I don't know whether I'll get it. not that I'm able to at the moment. But yeah, another release from Tom Ford. So goodness knows when they'll all end. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. If you've got to the end and did, please give me a thumbs up because that helps the metrics. And I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.